Morning. It is 8:29, and joining us in studio this morning from Lone Depot, Eliot Rodriguez back with us. Good morning. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Good morning, Roswell.
How's life in the home world this morning? Everything? I know it's a bit crazy out there in this world with everything, but
I know it's very interesting what is happening, and it's gonna get more interesting pretty soon. So like even this morning, it was already going to the negative direction. If you may.
Yeah, stock markets, and
yes,
the Fed, everybody else is inflation's really wreaking havoc on things right now.
I love how the guys in the news like inflation is getting better and this and that, and they're like, no, it's not. It's about to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, your little Band-Aids maybe move the needle a little bit, but they're not fixing any problems. They're just making people. It's an election year. What do you want to do for?
I know. Yeah, they're gonna continue doing what they've been doing. Trying to control it, but it's not going to do what it's supposed to do. That they expecting for it.
They want to put the Band-Aids on it to give the numbers that they can tout for the elections, and then go back to screwing you. But
I don't want to go either way or another. But he's gonna hit the he's gonna get the hit.
Yeah.
Inflation and depression at the same time on his term.
So well, this is what we're dealing with.
It's the way it is.
Which, but if you are savvy and play the game, little smart, smart. You can be a little smart about it. You can be just fine on all this stuff. Obviously, the days of getting the 3.5%, 4% loans and stuff. Interest rates on your home loans, that's in the rearview mirror. For people that have locked in on those, just sit back and enjoy it.
Good for all of you guys.
Yeah. For the rest of us, now you got to play there's still good deals to be had but really this is now if you're disciplined and you have all those things that they want, good credit, things like that, you're in the driver's seat still. That never changes. But this now for folks, the rest of us, you got to be a little bit more disciplined about it, making, when to pull the trigger and when not to pull the trigger on something is a little bit more important right now. You just got to be, and that's where talking to folks like Eliot and your real estate agent, making sure you're in constant contact with your loan officer and your real estate agent to help you navigate through those things.
That's funny. It's like Mike is in the same, same thinking of mine with me and what I'm thinking right now. No, yes, folks, it's about to get a little bad on the rates, a little more, but that's okay. No big deal. All right. So what Mike is saying is 100% correct. Right now it's time to plan and think about not just interest rate, just what you can afford.
Right.
Okay. Because if you start thinking about rates, you'll never buy a house. Okay. And that's just the name of the game.
Sure.
It happens. Like we have spoke here in the past, I had a 9.5 interest rate back in 2004. Okay, so that's literally just 16 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not far from if you go and see in the history, go and Google it. I always say it. Go and check it out. So when the market goes up and when you have inflation like we have right now, the rates go up. Okay, so the only way, what did they say? Something that goes up must what?
Come down.
Come down.
Does at some point.
So it's happening. So it's going to continue going up a little more. We'll see either this week or next week on the 24th, what they're going to do, okay? If they're going to really, up the ceiling again like 75 basis points like everybody's talking. So we don't know that because we don't have no inside trade on that yet.
Sure.
So there's no such a thing to know for a fact. But I think that's truly where it's going. That's the forecast.
Okay.
What the Fed's going to probably do. So
is one of the biggest problems in this time period right now really for people that are looking to buy a house is that you have to be careful of paying too much for the house now because demand is high and supply is low. People are paying more money for homes that maybe are overinflated on the actual worth of the house where, generally in the scheme of things, when you buy real estate, almost always you're going to get a return on your investment because it's really hard it's not like a car or something. Most real estate appreciates in value. But if the value's already inflated right now, and so for a home that normally you'd pay $150,000 for, Now they're charging you 180,000 for it. At some point, that house is going to be 150 again with the inflation. It's not. It's going to come back down. And so, is that a real issue where people are paying too much and then they turn around and sell the house 5 years from now and it's not worth what they're upside down on the house?
Partially, yes and no.
Okay.
And we spoke about this before. Back in 2007, okay? I don't know if you guys saw that. 2007, 2004.
Right.
Okay. So I built a home in Colorado Springs, okay? And it wasn't not only that the rates were higher at the time.
Yeah.
The ex-wife actually had something to do with that, so didn't make my situation better. But nevertheless, I ended up with a 9.5 interest rate, on a home that I was building.
Right.
Okay. So there's partially true to what Mike is saying, but again, in 2007 when I invested here on that duplex that I sold,
Sure.
recently, okay, I tried to refinance it when I moved over here in 2010.
Okay.
Okay. So in 2010, I bought it for $185,000. All right. It appraised at 195 at the top end of the market when I bought it.
Okay.
Okay. And if folks can go into history, that's when we were doing so good on pricing, and everybody in the whole world, we used to say we were in a bubble ourselves, So houses were a little more expensive, okay, at that moment when I bought. So in turn I bought in the high end of the market.
Right.
So when I tried to refinance it, the appraiser guy, went a little stupid, and then I asked the bank at the time that did my loan, no, we need to get somebody else to do another appraisal. The fact of the matter was that I actually still appraised to where I bought it,
Okay.
185. So the 195, yeah, it went down just a little, okay, but it maintained its price. So one of the things we're going to see is just exactly what's happening in California, for many years. The homes are so expensive, okay, and when you try to refinance them, they're not losing like a lot of money.
Okay.
The price may be where you already bought it at or around those numbers. So it's not like we're going to lose too much.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So once they go up, you're saying most of them will hold the value.
It stays somewhat the same. And
Okay.
remember, it's not over. We're still going up. Okay?
Gotcha.
What is happening right now, we're going to start seeing, a little going back and forth as far as pricing some homes.
Mm-hmm.
And homes may not 100% appraised to what a lot of people are trying to sell them.
Gotcha.
So we're about to have something very interesting. So for a long time, we were having like, a buyer's market where we didn't really have a buyer's market. It was actually a seller's market.
Right.
Okay. Because people were selling. What is going to happen now, we're going to have too much of influx of houses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's going to turn around the other way.
Gotcha.
So now it's going to truly become a buyer's market for real again.
Gotcha.
So what does
Okay.
that mean? A lot more negotiation. Also, the part that we need to keep in mind is you need to plan, because the houses went up. Doesn't mean it's going to drop down. Let's make an example. A home that could sell like 180 and now is maybe 225 or something like that, then we're talking about $40,000 to $50,000 difference. Doesn't mean it's going to drop that back down to 180.
Gotcha.
It may not keep going up, or at least not too much, but it may just go down $5,000-$10,000. That's pretty much it. So that
Sure.
means the prices is still going to stay somewhat high.
Right.
We're going to have more houses because they're going to be available. And if anybody's, keeping track and, watching what's happening, we have more houses in the market a little more again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How many? I haven't checked, I haven't had this conversation with any of the agents, to see what the amount of houses are in the market as what we were having in 2017 or whatever, that wish we had a lot of them.
Sure.
And that was when, if you saw for a little while, there were people like putting offers for the same house,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like a fight. Okay, so that may about to come back a little, but not as much. There may be too many houses. Okay, but the prices are higher than what people are looking for.
Gotcha.
Okay,
So, like a guy like me, like say I bought my house about 5 years ago, and of course I've locked in at a those good interest rates back about 5 years ago and all that. I'm under 4% or whatever right now, and I'm sitting pretty good. But I've noticed like when I bought my house, 5 years ago, and I'm now seeing other houses in the neighborhood going up on the market, and all of them are $40,000 to $50,000 more than what I paid for my house 5 years ago. Is that safe to say that my investment now is going to be closer in that ballpark range? I have no plans to sell.
No,
but
I got you.
But so if I wanted to put my house on the market today, And in theory, I have that much more equity built in because of that value. Is that something I can expect to kind of keep now?
That's actually about the best fact, check that we can actually use for what's happening right now.
Yeah.
That's actually a true statement, if you may.
Okay.
Because let's be realistic. Okay. It goes the other way, like when it goes the bad way too. Remember, we talked about houses being sold for less when people have a foreclosure or a short sale and everything. So it damage and it affects the people that are right around the same house that's happening.
Yeah.
Well, it goes the other way too now. So this is the positive side of the coin in this situation.
Sure.
So the market has gone up so super quick. Okay, and let's keep in mind, 25% of the sales in California, Canada, and then even in Europe. Okay, so have gone down 25% on the second quarter. So what does that mean? That was the trade right there showing, hey, it's going the other way now.
Gotcha.
Okay. But then there's so many houses coming up. A lot of people putting them in the markets. They're selling them for more and all that still. Okay. So that means now we're going to have to see more houses in the market because everybody's still, in other words, like when you're running so fast, you cannot just stop.
Right.
You have to slow down.
Sure. Yeah.
And they're slowing
slow
down.
down the momentum.
The momentum's still going. So that means homes going to still be somewhat high. And the houses around that have not sold, or people like you and I that have maybe a home that is older, we got it a while back or whatever. Now they actually worth more money. So now is the time to think like, do we sell our houses and the extra money we have invest to get a better house and so on? That's why, like I always say, the green machine never stops.
Sure.
Okay. So the folks out there that I'm watching, they never have bought a house. This is the time right now. Okay. And it's funny because it's fun. Like, well, Eliot, you always say this, the time is now. Why? Because you have to look at what is positive, take the negative to the side.
Sure.
It doesn't matter. Okay. The market is going to, go up and down with the rest of our life. Okay. How do we manage and deal with those things? That's the different story.
Sure.
Okay. So if you haven't bought a house still, okay, so let's talk about those folks for just a second, and we go back to the ones that have the house now.
Sure.
It's still time to start planning. Talk to you. That's why I was saying you and I are thinking the same thing.
Sure.
Talk to your loan officers.
Sure.
Okay? Talk to your real estate agent and start planning. Don't just go out there and shop around and you're not ready. You need to think about what you can afford, what are you comfortable.
Yeah.
And now it's more time of looking about what I can buy, what I'm comfortable with, and stop thinking about interest rates at the moment. Because right now, if you're thinking about really interest rates, they're a little higher than what we used to, and they're about to get a little higher.
Sure.
Okay. So if you start thinking that way, you may not never buy a house. But that's the problem.
Well, and I think, and if I say anything wrong here, please call me out on it.
Go ahead.
But I kind of feel like, owning a home is the investment in you. It doesn't matter if it's a financial investment or a personal investment. You're investing in your own growth, your own stability. To buy your own home begats the next thing on what we as Americans look at as terms of success and creating the what's everybody want? I want the 2.5 kids, the picket fence, the whole that's the American dream.
Yeah, the American dream.
And it doesn't matter where you at in your life, you've got to put your foot in the game to start that process. So yeah, okay. The numbers right now aren't, as far as interest rates, they're not the most ideal for people looking to buy.
Yeah, they don't sound like the prettiest one.
Yeah, but you can't start winning until you get in the game. And the more you just pay rent to somebody, you're just feeding someone else's game. You're not investing back into yourself. So a home that's worth less, that's yours, is more valuable to you than you living in a nicer house that you don't own and paying rent for, is what I'm saying. And if you own it, and so because every mortgage payment you're making, you're investing that money back in you, the value of that home. And so that value, that $1,000 a month you're paying for rent that's going to invest in someone else's value. That $1,000 is investing in your value, and it's coming back to you. Sure, the bank's getting their cut, making money off you and all that. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, you're getting a return on your investment because there is value. That house will go up in value as long as you maintain it, keep it from being a disaster area. Someone's going to probably be willing to pay you more money for it than what you bought it for. and that's investing back into you. So that's when we talk about, yeah, okay, so it's not the sweet deals of 2 years ago right
Exactly.
now, but it doesn't matter to you because you've got to get in the game to get to a point where at some point you're retiring, you're living your life and doing these things. Because I'm telling you right now, people that rent their whole lives, they don't retire. They're constantly working for somebody else.
I mean, let's be realistic. This is exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So let's go back to that duplex that I bought in 2007 here.
Yeah.
I don't even know, 2006, 2007. It's all like, it's all in there. I can't keep track of time anymore.
Yeah.
So, folks, I bought it for $185,000. Okay. At the time that I bought it, it appraised $195,000. Okay. When everybody was going bananas and the whole world was, changing and prices went going down and stuff like that, which is one of the reasons that I came over here too. Okay. Because Colorado Springs was going crazy, like something that, should cost more money. It was costing a little less, but not so much. But I didn't like the idea either.
Sure.
So I came over here, went back to some of my properties, my duplex, didn't want to appraise, but then I got somebody else to appraise it. It was just a real bad appraiser at that moment. But the thing is, it kept its price, okay, the value. And I just literally just sold it just recently, last year, okay? And folks, I didn't sell it for $300,000 or anything like that. So,
well, and that's just it.
I sell it for more, but it wasn't $300,000 or anything like that. I mean,
and the beauty of real estate, you can do minimal work to something and get a huge return on it. It's something like planting some grass seed or watering the lawn or painting the house or things that you could go to Home Depot, buy in a weekend and be done with.
Yeah,
you can get thousands of dollars back.
That's very true.
When you do go to sell or get the house appraised and all that, just from buying a couple gallons of paint or buying a lawnmower.
Well, let's put it like this. I've been doing rent, oh my God, for like 25 years or so,
Yeah.
I guess. If you're not a landlord, okay, folks, remember the reason that movie was called the $1 million landlord. What was the name of that movie?
The super. I can't remember. Yeah.
The point is, if you keep a home, okay, and you're renting them out, okay, don't just suck the life out of it and never maintain it and take care of it. All right. When I sold my duplex just recently, I didn't have to do almost nothing to it. Why? Because all these years I have maintained it.
Sure.
When it needed a new roof, I put in a new roof.
You just don't collect checks
just don't collect checks and just think that you don't have to take care of your place.
I don't know how many people I've known that are rentors, like they rent properties and then they have a roof problem, and rather than fix the roof, they file a claim to pay bills,
and they keep the money.
And then the roof never gets fixed, and then they have a heck of a time trying to get it replaced because they've already been paid.
And by the way, guys, that's insurance fraud. Don't do that.
Yeah, you go to jail for that. But how often does that happen?
A lot. Let me tell you something. We hear stories all the time. Somebody's selling a home. They do inspections, and the roof needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
And then we'll find out that there was actually a claim done on it, and then the place was not fixed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, they fixed it that they could and kept most of the money. Okay, and now they're trying to sell the house, and now they still need to fix it.
They threw some tar on the roof and called it good. Funny, slap some shingles.
It happens. Now, the thing is this. If you do the right thing throughout the years, just little by little, guys, I might be really good with money and everything, and, God have given me the brains to kind of be a good business person and everything. I mean, I was the business banker in West Fargo back then. You know what I mean?
Right.
So this is what I do. But I just didn't spend a bunch of money every year on taking care of my places. I mean, I'm here to make some money, when I was renting them.
Sure.
Like Mike and I all the time we talked about, if you're going to be living on a place, everybody has to have a place to live. If you can rent, you can pay $950, $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 a month. You could own a home on your own instead, okay?
And you probably have a little bit cheaper payment.
I have heard stories like, I've been living in this place and the landlord doesn't fix this. I would have run away a long time ago. Either go and rent someplace else,
sure,
or buy a new home.
Yeah.
Okay, take care of yourself. You've been renting and paying, all this rent all these years. Why not own your own home?
Yeah.
And all you have to do right now is plant, because it's for you guys now. It's becoming a buyer's market again. Okay, so it's going to be houses now. You can negotiate. Now, I'm not saying go out there and offer less money from the homes. That's not going to happen,
lose,
guys.
yeah.
You're going to lose, because guess what? Everybody's still looking for houses.
It's still competitive.
Yeah, it's still competitive. The prices are still high. Okay, and that doesn't mean that you're buying a house for less. There's no lender that I know that is going to give you a loan for like a house that worth.
If a price is way overinflated,
we're not
there's no
going to give you the
lender
loan.
that's going to say, "Yeah, we'll cover that."
Exactly, that's not going to happen, folks. So
loan companies aren't in the business to give away money for free, knowing they're going to take a loss.
It feels like we do, but it's not. But the point is, it's good right now for the new people buying a home.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's not going to stop. Now you need to listen to your loan officer. You need to listen to your real estate agent, okay, and do it the right way.
Yeah.
Okay. Go and negotiate. Try to get the home that you want. Because right now, it's the time to still buy. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm always gonna say that anyway because there's always a positive.
Sure.
For the point of getting a home. The folks out there that own homes and got good deals before, and they got a bunch of equity. Yeah, this is your time maybe to tap into your equity and go and invest. Go and buy another house.
Absolutely.
Upgrade the house you have to a better house.
Return on your own investment.
And then rent the house you have. The fact of the matter still is rent is a lot more expensive than even owning your home now.
Yeah.
Okay. And a lot of folks are going to say, but that's not true. It's like, well, partially it is. Because if you can go and buy a home for what you already renting, it means your way of life as far as spending is not changing.
Right.
But now you're becoming a homeowner instead. So what does that mean? Yeah, it is change for the positive.
Yeah.
For yourself.
Well, every mortgage payment you're making,
it's yours.
It's a little bit of equity back into you, or that rent payment's going into whoever owns the property that you're paying the rent check to. Mm-hmm. And I know, and people are like, well, I don't have the credit and all that. And this is where Eliot can sit down with families. That's what he does, especially with these first-time home buyers and things that don't know all the ins and outs, don't have the 800 credit scores, don't have, oh yeah, here's my itemized list of expenses and, all that. Most of us don't work that way. And that's where Eliot can work with folks and say, look, I get it. Here's where we can do. But look, in 6 months, give me 6 months. And you do this, this, and this, I guarantee your credit rating is going to be up, and we can put you into you're going to be in the driver's seat, much more commanding on that sale. And that's where Eliot really excels in the difference, with him and Loan Depot versus rolling into Bank X and saying, I want a loan. He's like, all right, let's take a look at things here. And if everything's kosher, he's like, what do you want to do? Let's do this.
That's true. If I can get you a home right now,
yeah,
I'll get you a home.
Yeah.
And another thing to keep in mind is this. Okay, because I got a handful of folks that wants to wait, because for the rates to get better. The rates are not going to get better anytime soon. They don't.
You're
going to
be waiting a while.
Okay, so the fact of the matter is the forecast. And remember this, guys. How many times we get forecast of water over here and we don't get no water?
30% chance of rain. You've heard all about that.
50%, and we still don't get no water. I mean, we got lucky a few times, but what I mean with this is. It is forecast to get better by the end of the year or the beginning of the year.
Sure.
When is that going to happen for a fact? We don't know that, guys. Sure. If any lender, I heard some stuff in the radio. I hear in the radio, I'm not going to say no name, but I thought it was very crazy. Oh, come and refinance with us. We can save you $1,000. Like, yeah, if you have a $500,000 home loan, what about those folks that have $150,000 or $180,000.
What about most people's
scenario, come on. And I'm sorry, you're not gonna, unless you're paying a bunch of things off, you're not saving $1,000 a month just like that.
Sure.
I can get very creative, but every situation is totally different. So I cannot say on a message on the radio that I can save you that much money.
Sure.
Because every situation for every individual is totally 100% different.
Whoever guarantees that kind of stuff.
I heard that in the radio for one. Like, oh my goodness, that's just crazy. And also interest rates. Okay, and if go and find me in the radio or even on Facebook and see if you find Eliot ever saying you could get this kind of interest. No, there's no such a thing.
Yeah,
every situation is totally different, and it's funny when you hear those things.
Sure.
And I feel bad for the folks that go online and they see those 4.5 and this and that, and like, okay, so how much is costing? What is the situation? How much money they're putting down? There's so much, okay. Because you still see it.
Well, you get lured in with that, but then you've built yourself up of the dream of the home, and then you're willing to sacrifice later. When it's like, okay, we can't do this, but we'll give you this. And like, well, now I can't afford it, but I really want the home. Okay, let's do it. And you're like, well, now you're in trouble.
So right now, what I mean to plan is to talk to your loan officer, to your real estate agent, Okay, it's not about getting the best interest rate that you can get, because right now you could get the best interest as possible, but if you're paying too much money, you're just throwing that money away.
Absolutely.
Folks, if you're gonna buy a home right now, buy a home. Buy a home that you can afford. Okay, allow the people that are there that are licensed, they're the experts to help you, and listen to their, what they have to say. In the end of the day, you're still gonna do what you're gonna do.
Sure.
We just advise you and try to help you, but
Stay within your means.
stay between your means, and don't spend too much money on trying to get the best rate, because the rates are still going up. When the rates get down, okay, then you could refinance.
Gotcha.
And get a better interest rate. But
That's when you can push the envelope and be a little more risky. But right now, it's play it safe.
Yeah, just get
handle
your
your
home.
business.
Yeah, don't stop.
And do what you need to do. Don't get extravagant. Just take care and
Exactly.
weather the storm, basically.
Exactly, because let's put it like this. I got folks that are buying homes, that are building homes, okay? And we lock in the rates for 9 months and so on. They pay a small fee on front to do some of these things.
Right.
I'm now over here telling them, you know what, buy more points and this and that, because the more points you buy, you get a better interest rate. But if you're going to refinance in 6 months or a year, okay, if you're going to, I'm not saying don't buy points. I'm just saying watch how much points you buy. Because if you spend too much money on trying to get you the best interest rate possible, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? I mean, I tell people, to do that if they want to, but don't spend too much, because if you're going to refinance, all you did is throw money away.
Sure.
Okay? Save that money or put it in as a down payment.
The juice
instead.
wasn't worth the squeeze there.
Exactly, you know? So, like, take the right, what is it? Take the right flavor out of it.
Sure.
Instead of just not getting the flavor that you should get, and then you don't have no more flavor for later.
Yeah.
So
it's just little Kenny Rogers. Know when to hold them, when to fold them,
There you go.
when to walk away and run. We're out of time here, but please, if you're looking for a home or looking to sell, or even if you're just I think I need some explaining. I really don't understand. I need some help. Eliot with Loan Depot would be happy to sit down and talk with you, talk all numbers, talk about your scenario, your situation, and navigate that through you. And it doesn't matter if you've never bought a home before or if this is your 70th home. He's got you covered. Don't hesitate to reach out direct. You can call the office at 505-445-2070, or probably the best number is his cell phone direct at 719-237-4680. Again, that's 719-237-4680. And, of course, online, you can always shoot him an email, erodriguez@loandepot.com. Or go to his website, which is loandepot.com/Eliot Rodriguez, all one word there. And you can go check out his website and see more about what we're talking about here. And of course, set up an appointment and get in contact and all that
Check me
good
out
stuff.
online, find me, and you'll see what I've been doing for the past 4 or 5 years or so.
Absolutely. And really let him sit down and go through and see what the right plan is for you. And that's just it. We don't want to talk plans, because the plan that works for you may not be the plan that works for your neighbor. And
everybody's different.
So we don't have those conversations here on the radio. You can have those conversations back at his office with him about that. So,
But don't be afraid. Buy if you're looking for a home, still buy a home. Don't let whatever's happening in the market stop you.
you need
Because it
what
doesn't
you
matter.
need. Go get what you need. That's
Exactly.
kind of the. But if it's something you can hold off on, or something that you don't need right now, it's more. Then maybe we need to reassess.
Exactly.
Yeah, good deal. Well, thank you, Eliot. As always, appreciate the visit. We'll see you
you for
next
having
time. Anytime. Don't work too hard out there. Hopefully next month we got better news for people. Maybe.
I think so. After this week or next week, we'll know exactly where we're going to be at. So
Yeah. All right. It is